Had some thoughts on my mind recently about church policy. Now, let me preface this by saying that I have no agenda or no reason that I feel that church policy needs to be changed. Not immediately. And not due to social pressures. That being said, I understand there are people that do for whatever reason, and I'm not one to try to invalidate somebody's reasoning for feeling the need for some kind of change in society. I will say, however, if we're wanting church policy to change, there are a few questions that need to be asked before we start pushing for that. The first and foremost would be to ask God what is right. Not just ask what is right, but ask for understanding of the current church policy, why it's in place, if it's right, and then, if we're in a role to do something about it, then we move forward. Then that's the second question. Whose responsibility is it to change church policy? Depending on where we sit in the church, or where we're currently serving, because that's what the position is. It's a call to serve other people, not a call to oppress or lift ourselves or aggrandize ourselves. That's not what the callings are for. Even though I'm sure there are some out there that believe such things, it's not the truth. So those are the first things that I would ask. Ask God in prayer, sincere, with real intent to follow through with whatever He says. And then ask yourself, is it my responsibility to make sure this changes? If either of those is a negative, is a no, the next thing that I would ask is, am I keeping all of my covenants? If I've made covenants with God, am I keeping all of my covenants faithfully and to the best of my ability in all aspects of my life? So if the first two are no, the third one's a yes, and you still feel the need for there to be a change in church policy, what I would say is continue serving in your calling. Continue keeping your covenants. And if your personality is the one the Lord needs to make sure a change happens, He will organize His church in a way and in a manner that will allow you to be the one that He uses as a tool and an instrument to bring about the change that is necessary if the Lord deems it necessary. So there are people that would, sign petitions or organize a protest or a march, which those are your rights to do. Completely fine. I have no problems with that. But you do that, and you should do that with the understanding that that's not the way the organization works. It's not a government. You don't have a say because these people are representatives of you. These people are representatives and witnesses of Jesus Christ. And if we can do that if we understand that, we should be able to move forward. Not saying don't picket, don't protest. I'm saying keep your covenants, serve faithfully, ask the Lord, is it your responsibility? And then do what you feel is right. Again, you can protest and you can post on Facebook and social media, you can sign petitions, whatever you want. If that's the way you want to do it, fine. That's not the way the Lord's organization works, though, and that's not the way to make a change. The way to make a change is to be faithful in your covenants and in the gospel. And really ask ourselves introspectively, what is our relationship with God? Are we doing His will? What is our relationship with the Savior? Are we accepting Him as our Savior? Are we accepting that His atonement can and will make up for all the mistakes of men, whether in His organization or out of His organization? And are we relying on the Savior to make up for our imperfections before we try to correct other people's imperfections? So those are some of my thoughts on anyone that would want or pursue a change in church policy. Those would be my suggestions. And those are my opinions. I'm not trying to change anyone else's opinion. I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do, but that's just what I think. So take that with a grain of salt, or don't take it at all. Just my thoughts. And that's what I do. I think to myself and I talk to myself in my car. So